So everything seems to be working, right? Well, there's a slight problem, and let me show you how we can trigger it. So as you can see at the moment in our Flash Chat app, you've got this message history where 1at2.com said hello world. Now, if we stop the app and we run it again, do you think we'll see that message in our Flash Chat app? So let's log in again. Where did it go? Where did our hello world message go? It seems like as if our messages have been wiped. So why is that? So let's put in a new message in here. Let's call it test send. There it is. And let's go over to our Firebase console. So if you have a look in your database at the moment, you've got this message called test from 1at2.com. So that will get displayed in our table view. Now I'm going to stop the app and rerun the app and let that happen in the background while we stare at this real-time database. So you can see that as soon as our app launches, our messages database gets wiped, and instead all that we get in our entire Flash Chat database is this we've got data message. So do you remember where we put that in? If you have a look in your app delegate.swift, you can see where that message comes from. And this is from the beginning of the tutorial when we set a value to our entire database. So if you remember when we created our messages database, we made it a child of our Firebase database. And that means that this gets tagged on instead of overwriting the entire database. Well, the opposite happens over here, because here we've grabbed a reference to our entire Firebase database, and we're saying wipe the entire database. Instead, just set this value inside that database. So that's exactly what's happening over here. Our message subdatabase gets wiped, and instead our entire database just contains this bit of data. So to fix this, all we need to do is to delete our testing code. So remember, we wrote these 2 lines just simply to test to see if we can save some data into our database. Well, at the moment, it's wiping our database and only putting in the test data. So let's get rid of those 2 lines. And make sure that you don't get rid of this line where you're configuring and initializing your Firebase application, because otherwise none of your Firebase methods will work. So now let's run our app again and see if we manage to fix that bug. So let's log in and write a test message, hit send. We see it in here where it went green. That's a child added event. And now if we go and run our app again, so we'll stop and run our app again and we'll watch to see what happens this time. And as you can see, our messages database stays put and our messages stay within the history. So if we log in again, you can see that our historical messages are retrieved and displayed in the table view. So, we figured out and fixed the bug.